Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Celina Cordoba L, and much love from Brooklyn to Miami. I just wanted to take a second today. Yesterday was Labor Day, so I worked all day yesterday up until about 5 this morning, and then took a sleep from 5 to 10, and then woke up today and said, okay, instead of doing my normal routine of just throwing everything in envelopes and getting them out, you're gonna take a shower earlier than 4:30, 5 o'clock. And you're going to use at least 20 minutes to talk about these email concerns and people's questions, trying to do more, but also be honest with myself and saying, if it's just me making products, I've got to also just complete that task and not feel as though I always need to prove to people how I do stuff. So I say that with a lot of humility because I get a lot of emails and a lot of love. Literally, I just got out the shower, so I said, before you put play on, put a little product on your face. I'm literally rubbing face on. Face is made with calendula, a lot of macadamia, some helichrysum is in the oil that I infuse the face with, and it's just made with so many healing butters that don't have any shea butter in it. And the reason why I say that is because I just noticed years ago, shea butter was really kind of clogging my pores and affecting my skin in different ways. But I didn't want to negate people's love of it. So when I first started Cordoba Organics, I didn't have the success or any type of investor. So I literally was doing everything from what I'd say from like waiting tables the week before, throwing $30 into my little collection pot and saying, okay, regardless of what or who, this is what I want to accomplish. So right now I'm just rubbing some Taurus on my body. It's raining outside, and I noticed I love Taurus all year round, but Taurus is great because it's got such ginger. It's got a nice amount of ginger in it, and it wakes me up a little in the day. So I'll do like a birthrights, even though I'm not pregnant. I'll do a birthrights at night because birthrights is made with so much, oh my goodness, so much lavender. And I'm really not a fan of lavender in my products, but since making birthrights, I started using it at nighttime, and it's so nice. It is so nice, all of the herbs infused in it, as well as just a nice amount of lavender, a nice amount of hawthorn is in there. Some, it's so good, yo. I can't even. Hawthorn, fresh rose, lavender, helichrysum's in that as well. Just calming stuff. Some elderberries in there. So yeah, how do I do what I do? And why don't I have hired help? When I started this, I moved out of Brooklyn, New York. I moved out of the neighborhood that I would say I knew people and I grew up in, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just to say that when you go to a city that you're not from and you move to a new place, you try not to stress and or make anybody else a part of what it is you need to accomplish on a daily basis. Basically, you don't want to include anyone in certain tasks that you just know you have to take care of. And I think for myself, Amor was about 1 year old. He wasn't even a year old when we moved out here. And I was still really breastfeeding every day. And I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to be able to create something that I wouldn't physically have to be present for. Just coming out of that whole yoga community, I said if I could find something that I enjoy, really helping people with joint issues and just really arthritis and sports injuries. That's kind of what led me into even committing myself to understanding the healing properties of herbs. I wasn't always like, this is what I see myself doing. It's just after having open knee surgery, after losing my mom, the way that I did, again, certain things happen, and it just humbled me to say I don't really want to always rely on Advil or rely on, outside Western medicine to heal me, to make me feel better. It's going to be something that I become addicted to, and I don't want to do that. Like, just the other day I had to take Advil for something, and literally I was like, I don't know how people take this every day or for whatever joint issues and pain. I could feel the side effects, just a little bit. And it's not something that I would recommend long term. But again, when you're in this country, medicine is like Tic Tacs. There's so much to choose from, and there's so many different things that people have the options of purchasing that, you know, people become a little bit addicted to stuff that they probably didn't need to become addicted to, but now it feels good and it's a little too late. So that's exactly kind of to teeter off of that and talk about my transfer of energy from New York to Miami. I moved out here not knowing anybody, not having any friends, not knowing anybody, and I knew the environment. I knew that I wanted to be in a space where I could at least visit the ocean every day and use like parks and the sun as supplements for like aunties and tios and uncles and grandmas and grandpas. Nothing supplements that, but when you are raised in a larger family and then certain loss takes place, you realize the value of a nuclear family. And it's not something that you really, at least for me, it wasn't something that I really wanted to plug into other families to get. So I kind of became a loner and knew, all right, 1920, I really need to get rid of this student loan that I'm about to incur. So when I graduated college, I had a lot of student debt. Matter of fact, let me go get this real quick. Come in. This is my degree. I laughed because I said this degree from Syracuse University. This is the most expensive piece of art. All the things that we purchased, and I've been like, another one, Daddy? What I love about Aseer is that he's like, look, we can't take it with us, and I want to at least enjoy some of the fruits of my labor. And comics, that's what I love, that's what I want to collect, that's what I want to do. And I love the fact that he's just committed himself to really enjoying something that he deserves to enjoy. So all those are to say, that's not as much as that degree right there. And that degree, my little bachelor's of fine arts, I should have been acting, I should have been in Hollywood, no, it's not the way it went for me. So instead of thinking that I was doing something wrong and not taking certain job offers right out of college, I really wanted to just be in Brooklyn, be in New York, hopefully attract a husband, and say to myself, look, I don't have a typical family, but I know my worth. And I know that I'm 22, I'm a virgin, I haven't been out there like that, but I know that I can commit and I know that I'm loyal. So I don't really want to date. I don't really want to put myself out there and think that things are going to go for me in a normal fashion, because the dating world is not something that I should enter if I'm not ready to have sex with just random people. And that wasn't something that I was ready for, so I never did it. So you can meet your husband and be happy without going through the whole dating cipher. So that's camera A. Camera B, Miami's amazing. Loved it, but there's nobody here that I know. I'm graduated from college. I just had a baby. So we basically decided to come out here and say, look, if we can make it happen in New York, I'm sure we can be successful in a less expensive place, Miami. It's not. Miami's pretty expensive, but it's a little less than New York. I can have my dollars stretch a little farther and at least put them more in like swim class, gymnastics, stuff like that. So to talk about the products and to get back to why I don't do stuff like this, it takes up so much time. By the time I wake up and put everything in envelopes, I just like keeping the machine kind of going. There is nobody that helps me with making of the products but myself. But I do think of it kind of like making food every day. You know, you'll have like your appetizer, your salads, your main course, your whatevers. But while grandma's making butternut squash soup, there's also lasagna in the oven, and she's also changing diapers. And so I wanted to always think multitask, but be in a space where I can do what I need to accomplish in the day. If I've got to wake up and at least do a little yoga and make sure my son has some oatmeal by 9 o'clock, then between 9 and 11, let me at least get a system going where I don't rely on somebody coming in to like fulfill or rescue, but no disrespect to people that have help. That's what you want in life. You want to be in a space where what you're doing attracts help, attracts people that are willing to contribute. But I'm also someone who's a realist and has been in my body and my experiences for my whole life. And I'll say to you this, I didn't think that sometimes when I meet people, they're so like in awe of how certain things are set up that I find myself like having to show them my herbs or my butters or what it is I do. And the first thing is like, oh my God, you really do this. Like there's really 30 mason jars. And there's only been 2 visitors since I've moved into this apartment. But the first one was in such awe of just, wow, this is really, you really, hi honey, you really have hooked this up. So of course it's like, what am I gonna, I don't have a workspace. So I made my kitchen my workspace, and I made my closet where I would just store all my bottles and all of like, right now, if I turn the camera, kitchen look crazy. 3 boxes right there, 8 big jugs on the floor, 6 huge jugs right here, and my kitchen table looks ridiculous. Because at 5, I didn't bust everything down and wipe everything down. I said, look, I gotta wake up, put labels on everything and get them out. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to put labels on all these, but I wanted to touch base and say, I don't have any help. And there's no, I don't know if we're in such a space now where people need to like create more of an illusion of reality than it actually is. But I'm always in wonderment of people that would rather bite off more than they could chew in the beginning. I didn't want to have a huge storefront and have to be able to say, okay, well, let me pay all of this off just to show people that my products are worthwhile, or that I'm doing my thing. I got a storefront. And that's just another material corporeal building. I said, okay, that's great for people that have that, but I don't. And I don't have an outside investor, and we're paying our own rent and our own dental bills and our own we're paying everything on our own. So I don't necessarily want to add on, now that I've gotten rid of my student loans, I don't want to add on another huge overhead when I don't even own my own home yet. So I didn't want to own a home where before I could at least put down a large amount of a down payment so that I wouldn't have to have a huge mortgage in the future, or I would at least know that this 25-year agreement I could definitely accomplish. So for me, I didn't think of it like house success. I'm thinking internal success will attract house. So internal work, consistency will attract savings. So instead of thinking that I needed all these things to define my level of success, I got real good at working with like the bare minimum. So in New York, for instance, I would literally put, like those contracting bags, I would rip contracting bags in half, take them all around me so that my room, the kitchen was totally dust free and blackened out. And I literally would work with 2 blenders and just the will of saying, I've got to pay this rent this month and take care of this kid that doesn't have a huge family, but I chose to have this amazing child. So I don't ever want him to feel a negation of like me knowing that. I want to at least be able to be at home all the time so that he can have good meals and won't be raised by a nanny. No disrespect to people that can do both, but I didn't want for a nanny or a babysitter to do like the majority of the work that I knew I needed to do as a mom. Just to create that trust, for him to see me every day and to witness me teaching yoga and still blending with him. And it created a great bond with him more, because he knows I didn't always have, space to blend in. And even now I can use more, but I'm used to working in like a basement. So now that I have a kitchen with a counter that I could literally lie across, that to me is a mansion. So my goals are, I would say that they're a little smaller than other people, because I realize a lot of other businesswomen just want the numbers and oh, I have this and look at my store, but then they're broke. They can't pay their bills. Their finances are off. They can't create more. And I figured, have less so that I can create more. So that's literally been like my way in which I do stuff. But also, I started off with like four products, and then those 4 turned into 8. So for me to have 85 products now, over 85, you have to know how grateful I am for y'all to even trust what I did 8 years ago would turn out to be something that we could all value. I was able to get rid of the whole shea butter recipes and those labels in the beginning because I needed to start from somewhere. I can't start with what I want, but I gotta jump in. So I started with shea butter, with what I didn't really love, but I knew I could afford. And then a year, 2 years into the business, I was like, I've got to destroy all these labels and create labels that express exactly what's in stuff, but also why I wanted to test myself outside of the comfort zone of what most people were using or investing in. I'm sitting on something to be a little higher, so I'm sorry. Also, Virgo, I'm just gonna go through them real quick. The Virgo's great because it's got the cardamom in it. It's also got some coffee. I put a lot of fresh herbs in everything. All my stuff is handmade. How do I do it? I prepare stuff ahead of time, and now I have a system that's not so overwhelming. So I know, okay, out of these 30 butters, this is the base recipe, and this is what goes into 12 of them. So I put that in a quadrant of my home. Then these other, the ones that are the astrology butters or the healing salt, they're different. So I've got to literally have a jug for everyone, but I've gotten a great blender that can dip into stuff, so I don't have to like put everything in a separate container. I could literally just put the blender in something and blend what I need. So it negates a lot of headache and a lot of overhead, because now I know my recipes all by heart, because I've been making them every morning, every afternoon, and every night for about 8 to 9 years now. So now everything that I used to refer to in a journal, I just have to think about, and I know if I miss anything or I think I'm missing something, I just look at the label and I go, oh, right. But in doing that for about 2 years, I do and have memorized all of my recipes. That's great for me, but even in trying to help and, sometimes employ, what I do is so detail oriented. I'm very detail specific, and I don't want to make anybody feel like they're not good enough or like, their way isn't a good way. No, if I'm hiring somebody, I want to give them the freedom to complete everything and me trust that everything that I've asked to be done will be done. And Aseer is sitting right here. He can come right into the camera. He's literally sitting right next to me. Hi, honey. We don't have a huge space, so I don't really want to invite people in our home when he needs the home to be quiet. My son's in the back doing his little work. He already did his dolphin research paper today, so he's literally in gaming world for the next 2 hours. So everybody kind of has their own place, and we figured out how to work in one space together. But that's to say, with him, with all the work that he does, I can't just invite anybody in our house. And what it is they end up asking him so much, and it's all right, but I have to also think of his energy and go, this is where he lives. I don't always want to sometimes invite someone who might just be really excited to talk to him as well, but then the energy of what we have to accomplish is a little thrown off. Or I like people to like who they like and what they like, and I really don't like asking for help unless someone really wants to help me. So I didn't start my business to say, okay, this is what I need help with, let me see what I can galvanize. I started it to say, okay, this is what I need in order to sustain my life after the age of 35, and I don't want to pressure my husband to be the sole breadwinner, so I do want to be able to contribute, but I do need these 24 months to just breastfeed and to make food and to save whatever little money I can from yoga and from the small things I can do so that I can have something of substance in the future. So all of the astrology from Sagittarius has fresh hawthorn in it, and it's really, really dope because everything is organic and gel-based, so you can use them on your private parts. And that took me a while. Like right now, what's taking me a while to figure out how to do is make my own hair conditioner. Now that I've figured out how to do that, I have the label coming in a couple days. You bottle that up, put it on the website. So it's literally like a machine that feeds itself, but I can't try anything new or make anything new until I had the courage to say, okay, I've got these 30 down. If I can make this, that, and the third, then I'm sure I can make my own shampoos and infuse them. But again, I approached everything like it was alcohol, and then I used it in a cosmetic type of way. So I get it. A lot of people aren't going to do all those little steps, but that's exactly why I said I want to invest in my own, because I didn't feel as though wintergreen and spearmint and red thyme was in something. I didn't feel the results over time. So I just wanted to make sure I could offer something that I didn't really see being offered consistently in other people's products. So the spearmint thyme is going really well. It smells so amazing. The rose clay alchemy goes along with the kelp help. It goes along with the pineapple turmeric alchemy. And I want to mention something. The pineapple turmeric alchemy, because everything is really real, raw, and organic, meaning that I infuse actual herbs, take over sometimes 6 weeks. The banana skin alchemy, the serum, that was a product that it literally took me like 3 months to figure out how to make. But even after making it, how do I clarify it to make sure that it's clear? So it's all a process. And talking and being on the phone and checking texts, it takes away from you discovering stuff. It takes away from you being in a zone. So I didn't really want to be dishonest with that. So that's that. This is foy. The foy, I don't offer everything in these no disrespect to companies that just offer those small little glass vials, but I wanted to give stuff to people that was really large and that was really gonna last a long time. So like all of the heavier products now come in unbreakable jars, and I just got an email with somebody thanking me for that. They love them. That means a lot. The pineapple, what I was gonna say about this, it's gonna change color over time. But I was going to show you something that's in the back of my computer. I literally have sometimes just sat bottles out for like 8-9 months just to see the viscosity, the consistency, how things change. And what is amazing with herbs is that it'll color, and it will change the color, literally, of some of your products over time. So because this is really ground and made with turmeric root as well as like a powder, the powders are great, but you've got to melt them down so you don't feel the grain. And it takes a little longer than me working with a root, like in tea and tinctures. So I actually use turmeric root in this. So it's a little different, and your product might arrive bright yellow, like that pineapple color. But then in like 3 to 4 weeks time, it will change in color. I literally kept this one out to show you guys. In like 3 months, it'll get a little darker, but it's still perfect. It's still clarified. It's still amazing. And that's something I wanted to express. But Birthrights is really great for pregnant people. We've pregnant, lactating, breastfeeding, calming the baby. Really dope. All the astrology all the astrology products from January all the way through come with a salve as well as a wash. So you want to be able to give people both so that they can just stay with that whole energy. Not only are you washing with it, but you're also sealing your skin and your body with it. So the face washes, the kelp help, the turmeric, they all have a different purpose, but you can use them on your whole body. Sometimes we get, I get questions like, what should I use for? Every one of my products will heal everything. They just will. And then that sounds crazy. No, they will heal everything. But because people are specific, I wanted to have a specific purpose behind each one. But that doesn't mean that they're not interchangeable and they can't be used for every part of your body. Somebody just wrote me and said, I'm looking for them right here. That's the rosemary. Where's the anise? Oh, here they go. Somebody just said to me, somebody said, yo, this looks like a lava lamp, because when you shake it, you can see all the anise. But somebody just wrote me and was like, yo, your anise has healed my skin. Now, mind you, you can use it on your skin because every ingredient is for your skin, but I made it for people's thinning, drying, falling out hair. So someone's like, oh, great, yes, you can use it on your skin. You can use every product. Physical therapy. I like fresh herbs in my stuff. So some products, I keep some of the herbs in it just so you guys could trust the process. So many people lie about what they're putting in stuff. And that's so, you know what? I can't even tell. Lies catch up with people like crazy. When you are not honest about what it is you're giving and thinking, you think it's not going to catch up, but it will. Some people are so on it, they will take your product to a chemistry lab and find out what you really got in it. So you better be honest, because I had somebody do that and I was like, thank God I didn't skim. Because people are skimming stuff, but the hibiscus, I call it Hebe hair oil, because when I'm writing things down, I abbreviate everything. But the Hebe hair oil, you can use it on your body as well. All of everything is essentially oil fragrance. So there's no perfumes. I even found that to be the case with certain products that are like, oh, blueberry this. They're using blueberry fragrance and not the essential oil, or they haven't figured out how to make blueberries into a tincture or into like a salve. So it ends up being really nanas. She always comes up here. So that's another thing. Blueberry, the strawberry, the peach that I'm coming out with. How do I figure out how to extract peach essence to really make it smell peach and still bring the peach? It's the way to do it. I'm so glad. All right, also, what do I have new? I got my new little cute cards made, thanking people for just their support. All of these things came later in the game though. I was just using, y'all know, I would put my business card with just the information into everybody's products and write them personally. I still write everybody that orders personally. That's how you get your tracking email. Even if you don't check your emails, it's there. And now I can do stuff like, okay, let's get these cute little cards made, or boxes. Do you know how difficult it is to figure out a size box when some people only get one product like this? I can't order and put this in a huge box. It's too expensive for them. The shipping and handling is crazy. But if they order 6 to 8, now I should have these options. I didn't have the space to store all of the options of the bottles and the boxes. So I just stayed humble and using envelopes that give a little bit more. But then in the envelopes, you've got to have your bubble wrap so that things don't crack during travel. So it's always like a give and take. And I say that to say some people might want to hire 10 people that aren't gonna care about the ingredients in your products the way you are, that aren't gonna be detail oriented and make sure that the lip of the jar is all evened out, to make sure that there isn't any huge air pockets inside, to make sure that every product that you do have specific has the amount of calendula, the amount of dried flowers that you need. Halt is amazing, but Halt is also something that's made with so much cedar wood and citronella and cinnamon oil. To write out all the oils and go to someone and make sure they're putting the dropper into each. By the time I do all that, I could do it myself. By the time I train somebody, so I think of things in terms of saving time and saying to myself, what really am I accomplishing? Do I just want to show off and like have a staff of people? And not everybody's showing off. What I mean, do I want to like hire extra help in my home when I don't have a storefront and I can accomplish these things if I wake up, if I get it done, if I express to my son, hey, mommy has a job as well, and I can't just play games with you for the next hour. The shampoos go great, I told you guys already, because they really are infused with the herbs that are listed in them. I really did want to use certain stuff that I didn't find, but then when I'm going herb shopping or I'm looking at and studying different herbs, there's got to be a way for me to incorporate bloodroot. There's got to be a way for me to use angelica root. There's got to be a way for me to incorporate comfrey. There's got to be a way for me. So I literally took time and figured that out. It wasn't to negate from anyone else's process. It was just to say, I really want to feel and see a difference in my skin over time. The musical hairs. Why the musical hairs is so like, remember that product, the pink oil moisturizer back in the day? And it kind of was like mad mineral oil, mad alcohol. But we liked the feel of it because that one little ingredient of having a little bit of castor and just looking a little like lotion for your hair gave us the illusion that we were taking care of it, and we weren't. I'm sorry, my cat is on my degree. See how I take care of my degree? Like, drop this frame. But all of that's to say, everything here, even this is the product I put on my face right when I think. Face is amazing because I do have a little bit of dry skin, even in being in this moist weather. Now that I'm taking really hot baths and hot showers, my skin will dry out a little based on the limestone in the water. I could tell it's a little bit fluoride infused out here. So again, I use a little bit of the face on my actual face, just around my eyes, around my stuff that could get a little dry. And it lasts a little longer without making me feel like I have an oily residue. All right, so the same thing with the Rosemary's Baby. Patoro, you can see Patoro is one of my older labels that I didn't even get changed because I loved it so much and I wanted to keep a little old school classy. But out of all of these, I gotta get them into bottles, into envelopes, because I don't want to miss the mailman. But I also have to say, I have to stop and give praise and thanks, but also it's all right to be honest and say to people, no, it really is on me. Is it not, Daddy?
It's you, babe.
Does anybody come in the house Monday through Friday to help me?
Nope.
What time did I go to bed this morning?
5.
Like 5:30, right? And then what time? I'm still a morning person because when you breastfeed, you up every 3-4 hours. Then I'm up again at 9. So for me, there is something that I have to say, you know what, Celina, you work so hard. After you send these out today, take a healing bath. I did that before, but take a bath. Enjoy a couple minutes because you also don't want to run yourself dry. You don't want to run yourself tired. And I'm not doing this to consistently do this for the next 25 years of my life. I want to be in a space where I'm like, okay, what I've made works, and now I can, employ other people and have a factory and have, of course, all of that stuff, but it comes in due time and you got to put the work in. So for me to just reach 10 years, some people work for 15, 20 years. I'm not but what I'm saying is time is an illusion. For me, what I've had to realize is that moving from a place that I've really knew to a place that I don't, I'm very grateful. I'm gonna take off my jean shorts because they're annoying. I only did it to be appropriate on camera. Sounds like, I don't want to be all extra, but part of what I do is try to remind people that even getting a little older, having imperfections is something we all go through. Not all of us, were injury free, and we're lucky to have parents that really taught us how to take care of our joints and our muscles. And I love this bathing suit because it's really pretty. It's all exposed on the side. I love stuff like that. Those are little ways to make you feel feminine in your house while I'm working with a hazmat suit on. Sometimes I'll just wear little silk outfits underneath overalls just to make myself still feel feminine and cute. But that's about it. We've got Rosemary's Baby, the Aqua, the Virgo. Every sign is offered all year round. Sun-Kissed comes in an oil and a lotion. The same thing. My favorite ones, Scorpio, Vetiver Bay. Vetiver is dope because it has so much vetiver in it. I used to get stuff with vetiver in it and I couldn't smell any in it at all, and it would annoy me. Ether is great because it has, you'll see flecks in this, flecks of eucalyptus, and again, not hard eucalyptus, but stuff that's soft on our skin, so that when you rub it on your baby's chest, they're not all broken out and hurting. Same thing, the Leo and Libra sell crazy for some reason. I'm so proud of those two products. The same thing. You know what doesn't, the Leo, Libra, what doesn't get a lot of love and needs to is Gemini. Gemini is so incredible. It's got, Gemini and Birthrights are the only two that have a little lavender, but when you start to study the signs and you start to really say, okay, use this as a springboard or as just a base as to what herbs might work well for each sign. So because every sign is ruled by a herb and is ruled by an essential oil, let me test that out and start to see if I can offer that even to people that might not believe. Because that to me is how you teach metaphysics. You teach it to non-believers by putting it into something tangible that they can use themselves and start to feel and see a difference in. I don't like trying to bring people over to the herb side when they might like stuff that has mineral oil, 6 different types of alcohol and drying agents, but is bottled and packaged really cute. I get it. The package looks great, but not everything is about. What I've realized is people that have supported Cordoba Organics are detail-oriented. They do care about ingredients in their products. They do value all of the fine print on some of the labels. I had to do that because I didn't want to keep what was in it out. I didn't want to lie. And at times it was like, oh, I don't have room for this, but make it smaller. If Dr. Bronner's could have stuff where I'm sitting there in the bathroom with a magnifying glass, then other people are going to do the due diligence and read. And if they don't, then those aren't people that should be buying my products anyway. There's thousands of people's stuff that just has a little shimmy shimmer or some formicas that make your stuff gold or blue, and they love it. So there's something out there for everybody, and that's why I don't really think in terms of there's not enough for negation. But I also started to realize, like, a lot of people in my life, I don't want to feel like I have to prove what I'm doing to people that are non-believers, because then it just becomes, oh yeah, let me show you, and then you're like that pushy Nancy that when somebody comes over and they're, oh my God, this isn't your, you don't, yeah it is. I just keep it simple and keep it moving because I want to hear what other people do, and I'm invested in not always, this is it's a business, but Again, it's not something that I created to lord over people or to make other people feel as though, you know, they didn't have. No, I did this because, again, when I go to job interviews, things might go well, but they're going to ask me to cut my hair. They're going to ask me something is going to be off in what I'm bringing. And I started feeling really like I don't want to feel as though I have to conform my entire look when I don't have one tattoo or one offensive piercing. I don't want to feel like someone that has 8 piercings that's sitting across from me. I've got to explain to them why my hair is clean and it's mine and it's real. Like, it starts to feel like I'm begging to be included in something that people don't really want to see me in. So I just started to really realize that and say, make other moves. And that's not to negate friendships, but I thought about how much energy I put into cheerleading other people's ideas or giving them ideas of what they should make and what they should do, and them just really having certain investors and money. And I can't be jealous of sharing ideas with someone who has a mother that will, you know, invest in them. That's what everybody should have. But in knowing that I don't, let me also start to value things that I'm doing and not feel like I need to share the process with everybody that asks me, because now it's my job to prove to them that what I am doing is actually real. That's another energetic bag to get caught in, and you don't ever want to feel like, you know, oh yeah, look, because now you're just trying to show and prove to people that don't have faith, that don't believe, that want to cause doubt, that want to see something off, that want to say, oh, well, you didn't do this. Of course there's room to grow. Of course there's room to have, but I've got to also be honest about what it is I can do well every day. And what I can do well is make these 80 products, because now I have a base way in which I do it, so it's not bugging me out how to do it. And I just need to challenge myself to know that there's always ways and room to grow. So after doing all these, of course I wanted like the fruit botanicals, but I didn't know how to infuse blueberry. I didn't know how to infuse peach, because that's actually a living, and it goes through something different when you heat it. So I didn't know how to do that. And I had to remain humble and go, well, make the butters you can make until you learn how to make something that's strawberry without a fragrance. So now that I've learned how to do, I'm very grateful, but all of these things take time, and it doesn't require always talking on the phone. Or, you know, I realize even in meeting sometimes somebody cool or something, you know, I'm not a phone girl. I'm not texting every day, but that doesn't mean that I don't value people that do, or I won't take time to text back the next day. I just realize that when I really do put my phone in my bedroom in a drawer so I'm not distracted, it is not to negate or make someone feel, it's just I really want to try to get these out in 1 to 5 days. And when I'm sharing more, I'm realizing I don't want to put my stuff in the Twitter world. I don't know what that might galvanize. I don't know what that might open. That's a whole nother social media world that I might not be able to gauge. And if I don't have a factory, let me just be grateful for what it is I'm attracting and I'm able to fulfill right now. You know, and sometimes, oh, I wish I could think and be, hey, I don't have all of that. And no one, and I haven't met somebody that might see the value of what I'm doing and go, you know what? I have 300 mil. Let me just slide you a little. You like how I said that, right? And I thought of that because I'm like, yo, so many basketball players are getting trumped up with women. This dude is about to spend $500 million on child, some crazy. I said, see, if you meet the right woman, you just got to meet people that aren't always trying to take from you. Take. Put in a little when you have somebody that's so willing to invest or be kind to you or have the funds to fund something for you. I never had that. So I don't complain about it. I'm just very aware of what it took to get me here. And I don't sometimes wish to be a part of something that might open me up to a whole world where I might not be able to fulfill and keep what I've done well consistent. So thanks to everyone. It's been 39 minutes. I'm going to check because it's probably like 3:30. It is 3:59. So I have from 4 to 5 o'clock. I can get these all in an hour, but then I'm going to have to jump in my car and drive to the post office because the post office closes at 5 o'clock here, but the one further away is at 5:30. So I'm going to drive and get these out because people that place their orders on Friday, they shouldn't be waiting past the holiday, and that's what's happening. So I'm going to get these out, stop talking, and again, thank people for understanding that setting this up and saying, no, I've got to do this. This means a lot to me as well. I have to take time and say, look, without this, you wouldn't know what was happening, what was changing, how I'm able to send, you know, a little bit more than what I had before. All of my, you know, homemade lip gloss. I'm very grateful for a lot, but every time I watch a movie, every half hour, I do 3 pull-ups, I do 10 sit-ups, push-ups, and I try to make it like fun, like every half hour do something thing. Right now, my fish is seasoning, my mahi-mahi seasoning for tonight. I already cooked my rice and beans, so dinner's already done. And I do that early in the morning, right when I water all my plants. So there's a system. That system I don't necessarily want to throw off by now inviting someone, because you gotta, you know, make whoever's in your home feel comfortable, but also go, this is a job. This is what I need to have done. And I've realized a lot of times people like adding more problems than creating solutions. And I don't want to make anybody feel like they're not doing good enough when they're working on something for me. So I just decided, do this yourself, because it's your own business. So I shouldn't feel as though something's wrong. If I was around more people that maybe I grew up with or that knew me for years, I wouldn't feel as though I was just trusting someone new. That's not something I do too well. Sometimes, you know, someone will go, oh, I've seen you for 10 years on the camera, and, you know, but I just met them. So it's not the same exchange. It's like, damn, I want to have that feeling, but I just met this person, and I already know that it takes time for me to build trust. I don't want somebody to feel like they've got to prove their trust to me, but at the same token, it's not for me to just, I can be a little gullible and naive and share so much that I share to the wrong person, and now they're taking my vulnerability for granted, and, they're taking it for advantage, and I'm taking it for granted. I'm taking the fact that this person's here to help, and I might not see certain, I'm saying all this to say, I've been burned really poorly, really badly by helping people in the past, and I just said, you know what, instead of like trying to bring people in, just do it yourself. Eliminate headache, keep peace in your home, make sure that stuff is done every day, and don't make someone feel, you know, I don't want to have any of that insecure energy around me. And to not is something that I'm so grateful for, that it keeps me in a space of creativity and of humility, of knowing, okay, don't look at what others know what you can do and stick to that and figure out what you can do better. So again, thank you guys for encouraging me to do more, for asking me questions like that need to be addressed for the populace, and for taking time. Now I gotta throw these in envelopes, and I will see everyone. Probably do another one in 2 or 3 days. I'm just striving to do more and challenge myself to get out of my comfort zone. Thank you, CordobaOrganics.com. Thank you guys so much. I don't know why I don't sit straight in front like that too. I think it's because I like feeling like I'm sharing and showing, when really it's like, nah, just sit, stay in front, be simple. And shout out to the person who said, yo, she got ZZ top legs. Funny joke about that is that's what my mom used to say. She's like, look, you got ZZ top legs. And she would say it to make me feel better about my long legs and my short torso. I'm 5 foot, but in pictures, people be like, I thought you were 6. No, I'm 4'11". I'm exactly 5 foot. And let me see something right now. I don't know if y'all can see the numbers, but if I weighed myself on my scale, I'm feeling 102 pounds today, 101. Hopefully I'm over $1 today, but again, when you're a little bit petite, you're just very grateful to have people even remember your presence. So I'm very, very grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for encouraging me to get in front of the camera and to share more. And what happens too, I'll share and then I leave alone. I don't look to see who's commenting, because it can throw me off and make me feel like I gotta do, but I gotta stop and do more. So today, after I think this, I wanna go on YouTube and look at who's commented and just express my gratitude so that they know I'm also grateful in that world as well. But again, the things that have worked for me is don't pay attention to all those up scrolling comments. Just put the work out and keep it going. And when you feel blessed by the people that support you, and you feel blessed by your ancestors and by God, I'm just like, look, I don't know why people feel they need all of that, but I'm so grateful that, you know, I don't know where I would be if I didn't figure out ways to do stuff in really small environments to appreciate what I have. So I'm just grateful. Thank you guys for supporting Cordoba Organics and supporting everything herbal and everything really, truly legit. What's on the rest, what's in the bottle is actually in the bottle. So much love to y'all. Peace.